So you've probably heard the buzz, right? Gurugram's real estate market. I mean, talk about record growth, prices soaring. But it makes you wonder, is this a golden opportunity or, maybe a bubble waiting to pop?
That tension is exactly it. That's what makes Gurugram so interesting right now. You've got this explosive growth, absolutely. But then there's that question underneath. How sustainable is it really? The market's definitely accelerated, no doubt.
Yeah. And that's why we're doing this deep dive. We've got all this material you shared, articles, notes, research. It covers the overview, trends, insights for buyers, investors, practical stuff too. The mission today. Let's cut through all that noise, pull out the key insights, and give you, our listener, a real shortcut to understanding what's actually driving things in Gurugram.
Exactly. It's about getting beyond just the headlines. We need to look at the fundamentals, the data points, and critically, what it all means if you're actually considering this market.
Okay, let's unpack it then. Looking at all that material, what really stands out as the core engine behind this growth? What's fueling it?
Well, the research really points to a few powerful things working together. First up, it's location, 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 right? Strategically placed within the NCR. It's not just being close to Delhi, though, it's the connectivity. The material really highlights the highways, the metro, key expressways like KMP, Delhi, Jaipur, and especially Dwarka Expressway. That kind of network makes it super accessible, pulls in businesses, pulls in residents.
Right, that infrastructure piece seems crucial. It kind of unlocks everything else, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that ties into Gurugram being such a major economic hub.
Absolutely. The notes really underscore that. It's a magnet for IT, big corporate offices, MNCs, tech firms, financial institutions, you name it. When you have that kind of economic firepower concentrated in one place, it naturally draws in a huge talent pool. And those people need places to live, places near work. So the economy itself generates this massive inherent demand for property.
Gotcha. So jobs pull people in. The connectivity makes it easy to get there. It's like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the infrastructure development. The material said it's still ongoing. It's not done yet.
That's right, yeah. That was a key theme. There are ongoing projects specifically aimed at boosting connectivity even more, improving amenities, and being positioned along these key development corridors, like the Delhi-Jaipur Highway and the upcoming Dwarka Expressway. That attracts serious investment. It keeps building on itself.
Okay, so we have the practical stuff, jobs, commuting. But the sources also touched on something else, more about the lifestyle appeal.
Yes, and that's a critical piece. It's easy to just focus on the numbers, but the quality of life factor is huge. The research specifically mentions things like world-class shopping malls, fine dining, really good healthcare, top schools. These aren't just nice to haves, they genuinely enhance livability.
Yeah.
They make Gurugram a place people want to live, not just where they have to work. And that directly feeds into property demand.
Okay, so it's this potent mix, great location, booming economy, constantly improving infrastructure, and a high quality of life. That explains why people are drawn there. But let's look at the result of all that. What does the actual data say about the market right now? What are the numbers telling us?
The numbers are pretty stark, actually. The residential market, according to the material, has hit unprecedented heights. And get this, the first half of 2023 saw a 10-year high in sales for Delhi NCR overall, and Gurugram alone. It accounted for a massive 52% of all units sold in the entire NCR region during that time.
Wow, hold on. 52%. Half of all NCR sales happening just in Gurugram. That's incredible. It really pinpoints where the focus is. What kind of price levels are we talking about with that level of activity?
The research cited a pretty notable range, around 7,000 to 7,200 rupees per square foot. That price point really reflects the significant appreciation the market's seen, especially lately.
And are there specific pockets, like certain areas, seeing even faster growth? Any hotspots?
Yes, definitely. The analysis identifies specific high-growth zones, places like Golf Course Road, Sona Road, Golf Course Extension Road. These were mentioned as seeing price appreciation of around 12% just over the past year, based on the data.
12% in a year. That's a serious jump.
Okay, so sales are high, prices are climbing, especially in those zones. What about rentals? Is it a good market for landlords?
Yeah, the rental yield opportunity was described as attractive. The typical yields mentioned were in the 3–4% range. And part of the reason for that, as the note suggested, is that Gurugram pulls in a huge number of young professionals, migrants from all over India looking for jobs. That creates really strong, consistent rental demand.
That makes total sense. A constant flow of people needing places to rent would definitely prop up that market. So with all this demand, sales demand, rental demand, is the supply actually keeping up?
That's where it gets interesting. The research identified a clear demand-supply gap, especially since the pandemic. There's been this real surge in interest in owning property, even among younger people, it seems.
Yeah.
And that surge appears to have outpaced the new supply coming online, particularly in the more affordable and mid-range segments. Okay, so high demand, supply struggling to catch up, rising prices, strong rentals. Yeah, it paints a picture of a very, very active market. Now, if someone's looking at this from an investment angle, what specific types of opportunities did the material point towards in Gurugram?
The sources laid out a few key areas. Luxury residential apartments were one. Commercial properties like office spaces were another big one. Then you have retail spaces and also options like plots or villas, often in newer developments.
And did they mention specific locations for those different types? Because it sounds like where you invest matters hugely.
Absolutely, location is paramount. For luxury apartments, they highlighted sectors like 103, 102, 77, 63, and 89. For commercial offices, the demand is strong in established places like Cyber City, Sona Road, Golf Course Road, Udio Bihar. Makes sense, right? Where the businesses are. Retail opportunities were linked to high traffic areas, think Dwarka Expressway, MG Road, Sona Road again. And for plots and villas, it often pointed towards newer areas like New Gurgaon, SPR Road, and, again, the Dwarka Expressway corridor, especially for those gated community projects.
That's really helpful, breaking it down like that.
Mhm.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. What if you're not an investor, but you're just, trying to buy your first home there? What practical advice did the guidance material offer for first-time buyers navigating this market?
Yeah, the advice for first-timers was quite clear, quite practical. Top
Yeah.
of the list, choosing the right location. And this isn't just about the price tag, it's really about matching the area to your actual lifestyle needs. How close is work? What about schools, hospitals, shops, transport links? That location choice affects your daily life so much.
Totally. And I guess who you buy from is just as important as where you buy.
100%. The material really hammered home the importance of researching the builder's reputation. That means digging into their credibility, looking at their past projects, checking customer reviews, finding out about their track record on actually delivering on time. You need that confidence.
Right. And the final crucial step before you sign anything.
Legal due diligence.
Yeah.
Absolutely non-negotiable. The guidance stressed you have to carefully review all the legal paperwork. So that means checking the title deed, the sale agreement, the possession letter, looking for any encumbrance certificates, making sure everything is legally sound and there are no hidden disputes.
Solid, essential advice. Now, something else caught my eye in the material that's mentioned of a new buzzword. Fractional ownership. What on earth is that, based on what you read?
Ah, yes, fractional ownership. It was presented as a way to own a part of a big, expensive commercial property, like an office building or maybe a retail space. Basically, a group of investors pools their money together to buy a piece of this larger asset, and they kind of jointly own and operate it.
Oh, interesting. So it basically lowers the barrier to entry for investing in that kind of big-ticket commercial real estate, makes it more accessible.
That's exactly the appeal highlighted. It opens up investment in grade A commercial property, which usually needs huge amounts of capital to smaller retail investors. Plus, the potential for good ROI was mentioned, and digitization is apparently making it easier to track these investments. It's framed as a really interesting new trend.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Okay, looking forward now. The material also made some projections about the future of the Gurugram market. What did it identify as the key factors that are going to keep driving things?
The future outlook, according to the research, is still heavily tied to infrastructure development. That seems to be the recurring theme. The big drivers expected are, first, the completion of the Dwarka Expressway. That's a massive connectivity project. And second, the planned expansion of the metro lines deeper into the city.
Right, the metro expansion. And where are those new lines supposed to go? Which areas will they unlock?
The plan is to reach newly developing sectors. The materials specifically mention areas in New Gurugram and along the Southern Peripheral Road, the SPR. These projects are really expected to boost connectivity further and open up completely new areas for growth.
Okay, wow, this has been incredibly insightful digging into all that material. So just to quickly recap for everyone listening, Gurugram's incredible growth seems fueled by this mix of strategic location, a really strong economy, ongoing infrastructure upgrades, and that high quality of life factor. The market data shows it clearly. Sales volumes are hitting records, prices are jumping significantly in key areas, rental yields look pretty good, but there's this tension with the demand-supply gap.
Right. And the opportunities are diverse: luxury homes, commercial spaces, retail, plots, even these newer things like fractional ownership.
Yeah.
But the core advice remains consistent. Do your homework. Research locations, research developers, and be absolutely meticulous with the legal checks. That's paramount.
And definitely keep an eye on those big infrastructure projects like Dwarka Expressway and the metro expansion, as they seem key to future potential.
Exactly.
It's undeniable. There's huge momentum in this market. Strong fundamentals, future projects lined up. It looks solid on paper. But, thinking back to our opening question, with prices rising so fast and that demand-supply pressure, does this strong foundation guarantee smooth sailing forever? Or do the very things driving the boom also introduce new complexities, maybe even risks? What does that complete picture, the strong drivers and the questions they raise, mean for you personally, if you're thinking about the Guru Graham market? Definitely something to ponder.